Let's start with resolutions. RS 2017-976, sponsors Freeman, Vercher, and Elrod. Approves an agreement between the United States Department of the Army and Metro Water and Sewage Services for the Mill Creek Flood Risk Management Project in Davidson County. There is a letter from the sponsor to approve. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution passes. RS 2017-977, sponsors O'Connell, Vercher, and Roten, appropriates $50,000 between the Nashville Public Library and Oasis Center to provide services that help youth grow, thrive, and create positive change in their lives in our community. We do have a letter from the sponsor to approve. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution passes. RS 2017-978, sponsors O'Connell, Vercher, and Roten, appropriates $250,000 between the Nashville Public Library and Oasis Center to provide college access services for the Nashville Scholars Program. There is a letter from the sponsor for approval. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor? Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution passes. RS 2017-980, sponsors Vercher and Roberts, accepts a stop fatality review technical assistant grant from the Tennessee Department of Finance and Administration to the Office of Family Safety to promote a coordinated multidisciplinary approach to improving the criminal justice system's response to sexual assault, domestic violence, dating violence, and stalking crimes. There is a letter from the sponsor for approval. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2017-981, sponsors Vercher and Roberts, approves a grant from the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency to the Office of Emergency Management to subsidize the emergency management program. There is a letter from the sponsor for approval. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution passes. RS 2017-982, sponsors Vercher and Roberts, approves a Sheriff's Alcohol Awareness for Everyone grant from the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security to the Davidson County Sheriff's Office to undertake alcohol countermeasures highway safety projects. There is a letter from the sponsor. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution passes. RS 2017-983, sponsors Vercher and Withers, approves an amendment to a grant from the Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development to the Nashville Career Advancement Center for use in establishing consolidated business programs and services. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Council Lady Allen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just was wondering if we could get a little bit more detail on what consolidated business programs and services are.
We have someone, I see.
Hello. So the Consolidated Business Grants Program from the state is for on-the-job training grants, incumbent worker training grants, and apprenticeships. Instead of giving out grants for the 3 individuals, they consolidated them. So now we can divide them up. Instead of having a set amount for each, we can determine what's best mix for the businesses in the area.
Thank you. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution passes. Now we'll be on bills on second reading. BL 2017-952, sponsors Mendez, Vercher, and others, amends the Metro Code to establish additional public contracting and procurement restrictions upon non-employees. I believe there's an amendment. Councilman Mendez.
I'd like to move the bill and then move the amendment.
It's been moved and seconded. Now your bill is amended.
All right. I know that there's questions from one council member. And so I'll explain what this bill is supposed to do, and then I'll let, if anybody has questions. The idea here is to make it so where there's two-part bidding processes, where part one is about figuring out feasibility or cost or design, that whatever vendor is handling phase one would then be ineligible to bid on part two. There are a couple of, as Mr. Jameson's analysis lays out, there's a couple of other existing places in the Metro Code where something like this is done, and the idea would be just to make sure there's independence and objectivity on the phase one part. I've worked with Metro Finance. I appreciate their comments. Their comments led to the amendment, which we think just makes it more clear than it would have been in the original.
Councilor Allen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to make sure there weren't cases on, probably on smaller projects where, for example, just because I'm familiar with this, where an engineering study is done and then that information has often been used very efficiently because it's already been done in the step two, where perhaps allowing a bidding process as opposed to saying a single source could then follow up might allow Metro to make better use of the money that was spent on the phase one piece of that. And so I was just wondering if perhaps someone from either both Public Works and Metro Water Services could speak to whether this language prohibits them from operating some of the things efficiently that they've done in the past. And if not, I'm happy to just have that discussion and move on, but I just wanted to ask that question.
We'll allow the sponsor an opportunity to address that as well, Council Lady.
Thank you. I think one of the reasons for the amendment in Part C was to address a concern like this. As originally drafted, it only allowed an exception for sole source, and the feeling from finance was that there would be other discrete categories where it would be appropriate and we could handle that by regulation. The idea with the amendment is to make it so there's not one-off cherry picking, that sometimes you can bid on both phase one and phase two, but that there would be categories that would be described by regulation where it would be okay, like sole source is one, and I think the sort of thing you described makes perfect sense, but I'll let finance comment.
I agree with everything that he said. That is the reason why we asked for the amendment, because the Procurement Standards Board can set those rules and regulations, and we wanted to be able to have some discretion to address situations described by Councilmember Berkeley Allen.
Okay, thank you. So just to clarify, they can do whole categories as opposed to having to do it on a project-by-project basis, which I think is important.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's the intent, is we're going to go back and develop those rules.
So is there anyone from Public Works or Water here? Okay. So next week, if we pass this and discover, oh, heck, we should have thought of such and such, we have the opportunity to work with the board for a category that,
Yeah. And we did consult with both Water Services and Public Works before this amendment was offered.
Great, okay. I think I'm
Council Lady,
comfortable
I
with
have Attorney Jameson to also comment as well.
that. Okay, thank you, I appreciate the discussion.
In response to your previous request, Council Lady, I did contact Mr. Potter and Mr. Sturdivant by email, heard back from Mr. Sturdivant by telephone. He was comfortable with the amendment, had the initial concerns that you shared, but I don't want to speak for him, but he did relay to me that the amendment being offered gave him a comfort level with this ordinance.
Councilman Glover, are you still seeking recognition?
No, the question was answered. Thank you.
Vice Chair Shulman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And this is just a small question. You may have this taken care of in the provisions. You mentioned waiver by either the Procurement Appeals Board or written determination when there's only one source for the supply of the goods or the services. I guess the question is, what happens if somebody was working on the initial proposal and they work so that they make it so there's only one source of supply? Does that make sense?
I'll let finance this, but I think my understanding is that's a thing that finance is pretty aggressive about making sure doesn't happen.
And the original bill that came to us granted sole discretion to the purchasing agent actually to provide that waiver. And this substitute actually strengthens that by requiring that the regulations go through the entire Procurement Standards Board.
Okay.
Because we didn't want just a single individual having sole responsibility for that.
Okay, so you actually provided extra protection, so that's good. All right, thank you.
Councilman Mendez.
Just renew the motion.
We're voting on the amendment. All in favor? Opposed? Amendment passes. Now we need to vote on the,
Move the bill as amended.
thank you, Councilman. All in favor? Opposed? Bill is approved as amended. BL 2017-983, sponsors Davis, Bettany, and others, amends the Metro Code to require certain information for the assessment of economic and community development incentives. Councilman Davis. It's not working. I got you. Oh, you just. Councilman Davis.
I think I pushed the button, like the holding the handle, unlocking the door. I wanted, if I can, please defer one meeting. Just still working on some things with Matt Wiltshire in his office in Ashford, and just want to make sure full consensus going forward. So I'm just asking for a one meeting deferral at this time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been moved for a one meeting deferral. Is there a second? Any discussion? All in favor? Bill is deferred for one meeting. BL 2017-984, sponsors Hager, Vertran, Elrod, amends the Metro Code to increase towing and recovery rates. I believe this is going to be deferred for one meeting also. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Bill is deferred for one meeting. BL 2017-985, sponsors Leonardo, Vertran, and others, authorizes the transfer of property located at 1010 Camilla Caldwell Lane and from Metro to the Metro Development and Housing Agency for the purpose of constructing affordable and workforce housing. I believe we have a substitute. Councilman Leonardo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. At this time, I'd like to move approval on the substitute.
It's been moved and seconded on the substitute. You're on your bill is substituted.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to move approval, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, we need to vote on the substitute. All in favor of the substitute? Aye. Opposed? Now we're on the bill as substituted.
All right, at this time, Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the bill as substituted.
Councilman Mendez.
If I could just ask the sponsor to describe what the substitute is.
All right, the substitute is, based upon the fair housing assessment and some of the other things that have come out recently, there's a large concern in this area of the concentration of poverty. And so we've been working, very hard with MDHA, and I believe at the public hearing on the zoning bill, this was one of the major concerns we had from the constituents that spoke was the concentration of poverty. And so the way that it has been represented to my constituents by MDHA and Jim Harbison is that this is going to be workforce housing. And so the community is supporting workforce housing. This is a legislation that will, approve the transfer of the land, and we're trying to get this caught up with the change in zoning, and so the substitute just reiterates that what has been, explicitly represented to my district, and their approval was conditioned upon those representations, and as a result, that is why I brought the substitute to make sure that it is workforce housing, because that is what's been agreed to.
And at the risk of asking a really hard question, I think MDHA uses one definition of workforce and Metro ordinance uses a different definition of workforce. And I guess I'm curious which one we're talking about here, because they're a little bit different.
Mr. Harbison, would you like to address that?
Sure, it's always confusing. We get these terms. So thank you, council member. Just for the record, we have a letter and just the renderings that we've shown, just so you see the quality of the product we're putting up there, which has been a central concern of the Bordeaux residents. And really, I'd stay away from, for me, I'm staying away from the affordable housing part of it. Simply put, we're using disaster recovery funds provided by the federal government. They have a clock on them. Because of Texas, Puerto Rico, and Florida, those funds are at risk. This is the right place to put them because this is a flood-impacted area. And Bob, that means 120% of the area median income is the rent cap. So area median income for this case, which does differ from Metro, is the 8-county metropolitan service area, and the baseline is $64,800. Metro sometimes, and I want to speak for Metro. If Adrian's here, she can speak, because Metro often uses the county median income, which is $48,000. So in this case, the concern in Bordeaux, correct me if I'm wrong, it's your district, has always been increasing concentrated poverty and not taking a mixed income approach. This is workforce housing for two reasons. One, the federal funds require it. We can't go beyond 120%, but you can do the math. 120%, 64,800, 76,000. People above that income tend not to rent. So that's where our rents will be. And also, we have to borrow money. So we're straight up developing this one. We're borrowing, it's a $9 million budget. We're borrowing about $5 million. So we have to pay that money back. Did I answer your question?
It does, and I appreciate everything you guys are doing. This is great. I would ask that Mr. Jameson and Metro Legal, since we, like a situation like this, it's not clear from the legislation whether we're talking about the federally used AMI or what Metro uses, the MHI, and it's a difference between $48,000 for the household income and $64,000, which is pretty. And I think if we're going to use, especially workforce and affordable housing and legislation, I think we should be clear about which one we're using. But the project's great and appreciate everything you guys are doing. I just think we should be clear about which one we're using.
And I got a letter, if I could, if Rosie or someone's around, just with the renderings, just to give an idea of the projects, because I know we got 2 more committee meetings, and it just reflects what we've already shown the public. But in this case, workforce for us, 120% area median income, metropolitan service area.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Council Lady Allen.
Thank you. Just for clarification, a household means a family of 4?
Mr. Harbison.
That's correct, and you grade scale down 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got the whole scale if you want to see it. But when they talk about the area median income, they focus on the 4 number.
Okay.
For 4 people, for 4 persons in the home. One, it's about 52,000, I think, is the one. So
Gotcha.
It scales all the way up to 8. But
Okay.
they pick the middle. Yep.
That's family of 4. Great. I think that should be in the record as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Lady. Were you seeking additional recognition? Councilman Leonardo.
No, ma'am. I just would like to thank MDHA. We have worked tirelessly with them, and they brought us a good product, and we're just trying to iron down the language to make sure that it reflects the intent of the community and the approval that the community has based upon the representations. And so I'm comfortable with the substitute, and this time I'd move approval.
Seeing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Bill is recommended as substituted. If there aren't any objections, I would like to take BL 2017-990 through 1000 as one vote if there isn't any objection. Council Lady Allen.
It's been moved. Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I just am wondering, in the fiscal notes, it says the amount of right-of-way acquisition is not known at this point. Is there, and I think, is there a time when there will be a report later that actually shows what those right-of-way acquisition costs are? And can someone tell me where we look for that later?
There will be. Public Works does these collectively just because it's simply easier for them to do this in a lump sum. And they then do come back and can provide to the council a detailed report on how that is divided across all of these separate projects.
That answers your question, Council Lady. Okay, so I'll read the captions for 990 through 1000. BL 2017-990, sponsors Roten, Vercher, and others, authorizes the acquisition of right-of-way easements, drainage easements, temporary construction easements, and property rights for purposes of the Dotson Chapel Road sidewalk improvements. BL 2017-991, sponsors Hastings, Vercher, and others, authorize acquisition of right-of-way easements, drainage easements, temporary construction easements, and property rights for purposes of the Cecilia Avenue sidewalk improvements. BL 2017-992, Roberts, Vercher, and others, authorizes the acquisition of right-of-way easements, drainage easements, temporary construction easements, and property rights for the purposes of the Avenue sidewalk improvements. BL 2017-993, sponsors Vercher, Bettany, and others, authorizes the acquisition of certain right-of-way easements, drainage easements, temporary construction easements, and property rights for purposes of the Harding Place sidewalk improvements. BL 2017-994, sponsors Vercher, Bettany, Elrod, authorizes the acquisition of right-of-way easements, drainage easements, temporary construction easements, and property rights for purposes of the Delmas Avenue sidewalk improvements. BL 2017-995, sponsors O'Connell, Vercher, and others, authorizes the acquisition of right-of-way easements, drainage easements, temporary construction easements, and property rights for purposes of the Herman Street sidewalk improvements. BL 2017-996, sponsors Hager, Vercher, and others, authorizes the acquisition of right-of-way easements, drainage easements, and temporary construction easements, and property rights for purposes of the 9th, 11th Bryan Livingston Merritt sidewalk improvements. BL 2017-997, sponsors Swope, Vercher, and others, authorizes the acquisition of right-of-way easements, drainage easements, temporary construction easements, and property rights for purposes of the Cloverland Drive sidewalk improvements. BL 2017-998, Syracuse, Vercher, and others, sponsors Syracuse, Vercher, and others, authorizes the acquisition of right-of-way easements, drainage easements, temporary construction easements, and property rights for purposes of the J.B. Steele Drive sidewalk improvements. BL 2017-999, sponsors Elrod, Vercher, and Bettany, authorizes the acquisition of right-of-way easements, drainage easements, temporary construction easements, and property rights for purposes of the Walford Drive sidewalk improvements. BL 2017-1000, sponsors Leonardo, Vercher, and others, authorizes the acquisition of right-of-way easements, drainage easements, temporary construction easements, and property rights for purposes of the West Hamilton Avenue sidewalk improvements. And that concludes all the bills on consent. All in favor? Seeing no discussion, no discussion. Opposed? Bills are recommended for approval. And that concludes our Budget and Finance Committee meeting for today. Thanks so much, guys.
Nice. Good.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you'd like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.org.